Oh my god, that stupid crewmate again. This is so boring. Why am I so unlucky? I will have to complete tasks and think who the killer is, and also walk in fear. It just sucks.
What a pity that Jax won't be able to show what a noob he is. Okay, relax, but you don't have to think and try. Your hands will remain dry. Although maybe they will sweat, because it's difficult for a noob like you to play, even as a crewmate.
Jax, ignore her. She's trying to hurt you again. Remember when you calm down. He apologized to you a bunch of times. He was to blame. There is no need to take revenge on him or try to make fun of him. We're making a video and we don't have to fight. We should only talk about the game. So shut your mouth. And you, Jax, better tell us what strategy you will play.
Okay, so I will follow my super secret strategy. Only I know about it, and now you will know too. And all our viewers. Alright, that's okay. I will complete tasks and do it as quickly as possible. I must complete all tasks, preferably before the second death. After I complete everything, I will watch the cameras. You need to do this long enough for all players to see who the cameras are glowing red. Then I'll immediately run to admin, and there I'll see how many people there are in a certain room. Then the killer will see that I have left the cameras and he will kill someone. And at this time I will see how many people were in this room. And then I won't do anything because I don't have any tactics. Who comes up with tactics anyway? Do I look like a loser how to play Among Us? I have more important things to do. I'll just play the way I want.
Ha 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 ha! Okay, you're right. Why invent something if you can play for fun? After all, games are made for this. By the way, can someone tell us how Among Us was created? I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this game, so I'm interested to know who invented it and how they came up with it. I really like her.
I also really like this game. Among Us is a very interesting game. I feel like Sherlock Holmes when I play it. In essence, this is the same as the board game Mafia, but it is made a little differently. By the way, there is a mode where there are roles. That is, you can not only be peaceful, but also have a profession. For example, the sheriff. The sheriff can move through the ventilation. This is very cool. So, I also don't know how Among Us was created, so I won't be able to say anything. Kane, you know something?
Oh shit, Blue is not an imposter. Crap, I made a mistake. Who is the imposter then? Okay, sorry. Kane seemed to want to say something.
That's right, I wanted to say something. So, girls, you have come to the right person. I prepared for this video, and I know very well how this game was created. And now I'll tell you this. Among Us is a game that burst into world pop culture, despite its modest content. The story of its creation began in 2018 in the Inner Sloth Studio, a small development team in which employees could meet at the dinner table. The idea for the game originated in the minds of 3 team members, Forrest Wilkinson, Marcus Bromander, and Forrest Wilkinson. At the beginning of development, the Inner Sloth team was working on another project, but it did not bring the desired results. Then, one of the developers suggested experimenting with an idea that involved searching for traitors on a spaceship. This idea seemed interesting to everyone, and the creative process began. Among Us was designed as a multiplayer game where players compete and work together to complete tasks. But there may be a traitor, imposter, among them, whose goal is to destroy the team and evade charges. The remaining players try to guess which of them is the traitor and get rid of him. Initially, the game had rather limited functionality and graphics, but it was launched on mobile devices in 2018. At that moment, it did not attract much attention from the gaming community, and did not gain much popularity. However, in 2020, 2 years after its release, Among Us suddenly exploded in popularity. This was due to the many streamers and vloggers who started streaming this game. Its unique game mechanics, funny moments during discussions, and the search for traitors became the basis for the viral spread of the game. Among Us exploded in popularity on streaming platforms, where famous streamers played with friends and created fun and unpredictable moments. The game was simple, but it allowed players to make different moves, discuss and analyze, communicate, and of course, cheat. This combination of elements of fun and unpredictability has captured the attention of many players. Inner Sloth was amazed by the sudden surge in interest in their game, and the team began actively working on updates to improve and expand the gameplay. The developers updated the graphics, added new maps and functions, improved the multiplayer system and protection against cheaters. They took feedback from the community and tried to make the game more interesting and fun for all players. Among Us was a prime example of how a small game with simple mechanics and funny moments could become an explosive hit thanks to the influence of streaming and social media. This was a real triumph for Innersloth, showing that games created with love and creativity can conquer the world and bring a lot of joy and fun to players around the world.
So, the imposter has already killed the third person. I was just in admin and saw how many people were in each room. Pink said that he found the body in security, and I saw that there were only 2 people in that room. It turns out that he was there and another player who was killed. Yes, everything fits together. He is the imposter. He killed the player and report himself.
It seems the other players believe you. Now he will fly far into space. Poor guy. Pray that he will be an imposter. If he turns out to be a crewmate, then most likely you will be kicked out next.
Oh my god! I was wrong again! I agree with you, Ragatha. I also think that I will be thrown out of this ship. But how? Who is the imposter then? Okay, while I'm playing, tell me a story. By the way, just recently we celebrated the new year. It's been 4 days already. How quickly time flies. Tell the story associated with this magical holiday.
Okay, I can tell you a story. Outside, snow was falling quietly, covering everything around with its white blanket. The candles on the tree flickered brightly, and the aroma of hot chocolate filled the air. New Year was approaching, and our family gathered together to celebrate it. It was a special time of year when the whole world seemed filled with magic and wonder. Our New Year's preparations began long before this evening. The tree was decorated with lights, tinsel, and shiny toys, and the table was set with goodies and delectable treats. While the adults were preparing dinner, the little children played games and drew. New Year's cards for family and friends. Everyone was expecting something special, excited and happy about the upcoming holiday. Evening arrived and we sat down to enjoy dinner. There was laughter and joyful conversations that filled our house. Fun and joy filled our hearts, and each of us experienced this evening in our own way. The time for gifts was approaching, and then the hour came when we all gathered around the tree. The gifts were arranged in beautiful packages, decorated with a bow and tinsel. Parents gave out gifts, and everyone had their place during this mysterious time. However, this year something unusual happened. Suddenly a strange sound was heard outside the window. It was an unusual noise, like the slight creaking of a fender or the quiet clank of wheels. We all stared out the window, surprised by this unexpected sound. And then, as if out of a fairy tale, in the yard in front of our house we saw a real sleigh, decorated with lights and shining patterns. On this sleigh sat the cheerful and mysterious Santa Claus in full beautiful attire, surrounded by garlands and shining stars. This was an unusual Santa Claus. It was not like the traditional ones we had seen before. He waved cheerfully to all of us and smiled his kind smile. Our whole family came out to greet him. "Hello, my dear friends!" The voice of Santa Claus rang out, awakening warm and joyful feelings in each of us. "I have come to wish you a happy new year and bring you good luck, joy, and happiness." He distributed gifts and gave us words of good wishes. But the most amazing thing happened when he took his bag and took out a large ancient scroll from it. There was a map drawn on it with adventure marks. "I have a special task for you, my dear friends," announced Santa Claus. "This map leads to a real miracle. Treasures hidden in the depths of our forest. I wish you good luck in this great adventure." The shining eyes of the children and the glances of the adults, full of surprise, were the answer to this unexpected turn of the evening. We got together, took our jackets and hats to go on this incredible journey. We spent the whole evening looking for these marks, following an old map intertwined with fairy tale signs. We found mysterious places, adventure stories, and each new place revived our imagination. Finally, we got to the last mark on the map and discovered the place where, according to Santa Claus, a real miracle was hidden. It was an ancient treasure, radiating light and joy like real magic. We returned home, but our hearts remained filled with feelings of surprise and joy. The unusual visit of Santa Claus and his unexpected adventure turned this new year into something special and magical, imprinting memories of an incredible journey and adventure in our hearts.
So after all, they kicked me out, and now is the moment that will decide everything. I'm sure it's green, what idiots. They vote for purple. Obviously it's green. Damn, looks like we lost.
Crap! Well, that's okay. Next time we will be able to win, but it's better if we get to play the role of an imposter. Well, you guys, write comments about what game you want to see in the next video. Subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos, and be sure to like. Hello friends, Merry Christmas everyone, welcome to our channel. And today we will play Among Us. This is a great game where you need to find the traitor. And if you yourself are a traitor, then you need to eliminate all crew members. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and write in the comments what game we should play in the next video. By the way, I'll tell you a secret. If you click on the bell, you will see the very first video. Just try it.
Hi all, I'm so glad that today we are playing Among Us. I just love this game. Let's launch it already. I can't wait already. I wonder what role we will play.
You're right, Pomni. I also really love this game. Get started soon. I can't wait to find out who we will be.
Damn it! We had the role of crewmate. Okay, don't get upset. It will be interesting to figure out who the killer is. I hope they don't kill us first. In general, I'm great at playing as a crewmate. I will complete tasks quickly and watch the cameras as often as possible. They are very helpful in understanding who the killer is. For example, I know that a person was killed in a cafeteria, and from the cameras I can see who left this room.
You tell everything very beautifully. It's a pity that you're a noob and you won't be able to replicate this in the game. You will either blame a completely different person or you will be killed first. It's simple. I don't understand where you get so much confidence.
Oh no, crap, how unlucky am I? I came to carry out my first task and was immediately killed. But he was noticed, so he will be kicked out immediately, and we will start a new game.
Ha 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 ha! I told you so! She was killed first! What a disgrace! Phew, this is so funny. Why is Pomni playing at all? She is the weakest. Only 2 minutes passed, and she was already dead.
Shut your mouth, Jax! Nothing bad happened. Now they will kick out the killer and we will start a new game. And where did you get the idea that I'm the weakest? I play constantly and win or beat the game very often. Usually you talk like a child, but in reality you can't do anything. Remember how we played Geometry Dash? You spent the entire video shouting that you are the coolest and will easily pass the level. And then that's why he played it like a complete loser and immediately fell silent.
Wait, what? Why did they vote for the gray one? What idiots? Oh god, how stupid that was. Damn, Pomni, you have to play as a ghost and complete tasks. I hope they understand that the black needs to be kicked out.
All right, that's okay. I will carry out tasks until these fools understand that the imposter is black. Can someone tell me about Among Us? What if one of our viewers doesn't know about this game?
Okay, I'll tell you. Among Us is an online game that allows players to immerse themselves in a space adventure. It features 2 main roles, crew members and traitors known as imposters. Players work together to complete tasks and maintain the ship, but among them, there are traitors whose goal is to destroy the crew using their cunning and deceit. Among Us gameplay is built on trust, intrigue, and deception. The crew must complete a set of ship repair or troubleshooting tasks, while the imposters must deftly eliminate crew members while avoiding detection and revealing their true role. An important aspect of the game is discussion. After discovering a body or calling a gathering for discussion, players gather together to discuss events and speculation about who the traitor might be. A vote is then taken to select the player they consider to be the imposter. This can be a difficult test, as imposters are skilled at hiding their true identity. Among Us is not only a game, but also a way to have fun with friends or other players online.
Finally, they realized who the imposter was. What stupid people. Okay, let's start a new one. Game. I hope I'm lucky and I'll be an imposter. Oh shit! I am again a peaceful crew member. Well, boring. Maybe someone will tell you something else interesting about the game Among Us. I like her so much. I feel like some kind of genius detective.
What a pity that it only seems like this to you. It's good that you didn't become a detective in real life. A lot of people would get hurt.
Again, you with your stupid and unfunny jokes. I will tell the story of the creation of this wonderful game, especially for Pomni. The game Among Us began its journey back in 2015. Founded by Marcus Bromander, Forrest Wilson, and Amy Klingenfalter, Innersloth had already released several mobile games and was looking for an idea for a new project. The idea for a space theme in the game came after the team watched the sci-fi film Resident Evil. They became interested in the possibility of creating a space game where players could work together on a spaceship. The game was originally called Space Mafia. The Innersloth team was inspired by survival games and real-time interaction between players. They wanted to create a game that encouraged communication between players and required them to solve problems together. Work on the project was slow, as the studio was working on several projects at the same time, and the new game did not receive much attention. The initial versions of the game were incomplete and required significant improvements. In 2018, Space Mafia was renamed Among Us, and released on mobile devices running Android and iOS operating systems. However, the game did not gain widespread recognition or popularity upon release. She remained relatively unnoticed until an unexpected turn of events occurred. In 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic swept the world, many streamers began broadcasting games live on the Twitch platform and uploading their gameplay videos to YouTube. Thanks to this, a huge number of people saw Among Us, which led to a sudden explosion in its popularity. Players admired the combination of social interaction and intriguing gameplay, in which players in the role of the crew had to complete tasks on a spaceship, and one or more of them were traitors trying to destroy the crew. This unexpected success has made